Hello and welcome. I'm developer advocate Chris Castle, and in this demo, we're going to talk about Heroku. Heroku is a part of the Customer 360 platform. It allows you to deploy, manage, and scale services in the cloud and integrate them with different parts of Salesforce. Many developers like you love Heroku because it not only takes care of a lot of the overhead normally associated with setting up a server, installing operating system, making sure it's secure, logging, scaling, stuff like that, but it also provides a simple and intuitive user interface to do all this. That user interface being a web-based dashboard, a command line interface, or an HTTP API. Heroku allows you to focus on delivering functionality to your end users, value to your business, rather than spending time on infrastructure overhead. And did you know that Trailhead is built using Heroku? But what's more, Heroku lets you tap the expertise of developers at your company with backgrounds in a variety of programming languages like Java, Python, Node.js, PHP, and many others. So let's look at how to deploy a simple web application to Heroku. In fact, why don't we deploy a web application that uses Lightning Web Components? So I've already created a simple web app here using Lightning Web Components, or LWC. It includes two web components, app and greeting, and uses Node.js for the web server that runs on Heroku to serve the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript to the browser. So let's deploy it to Heroku now. So first we're going to go back to our project's root directory, and then we're going to create an empty Heroku app using the Heroku create command. There we go. And now we're going to deploy our code, just push our code up to Heroku, git push Heroku master. As I mentioned before, Heroku takes care of all the infrastructure tasks like setting up a server, installing the operating system, securing it, logging, load balancing, scaling, all that stuff that would otherwise slow down getting your app live and in front of your users. So we're almost done with the build and deploy process here. There we go. So let's take a look at it. We can grab our the URL that Heroku generated for us there. Of course, we can use a custom domain when we're ready. And there it is. That was pretty simple to deploy. Our Lightning Web app, Lightning Web Components app is live. So let's look at the code quickly. You can see the app and greeting components here. The app component acts as a container for the greeting component. And then below it, there we go. Here's the greeting component, pretty simple LWC, CSS, and then the JavaScript that really drives the component. An LWC application is just one of the many things you can deploy to Heroku and easily make publicly accessible. But let's look at a more realistic example now. This UI is deployed to Heroku, built completely with JavaScript and Lightning Web Components. It allows a customer to configure a product, a car in this example, and submit a form to express their interest in the product. And like these, apps like these on Heroku are a great foundation for future customizations when your business requirements change and you need to maybe extend, for example, to Marketing Cloud or Commerce Cloud or other parts of the platform. But once you have the website, what about data? Where does the product list data shown on the site come from? Where does the customer lead data get saved? This is where Heroku's data services come in. Setting up and maintaining databases can be more complex and time-consuming than is really necessary. To help with that, Heroku provides managed data services like Postgres, Redis, and Apache Kafka. So we've stored the lead data in a Postgres database, but we also want to have a single source of truth of this information saved in Salesforce. So here's the lead record. Click up here to leads and see what's there. There's the lead record we actually just created from that Lightning Web Components app. But how did it get there? Let's kind of figure out that with a diagram. So when we clicked on that Notify Me button on the LWC Car Configurator app, our code deployed to Heroku, saved that data to the Postgres database, and then Heroku Connect synchronized that lead data to Salesforce, to Sales Cloud. Let's look at how Heroku Connect is configured to sync that lead data between Postgres and Sales Cloud. Here in the Heroku web dashboard, you can see I've created a mapping for the lead object, and data is being synchronized bi-directionally. If we click on this, we can see the health of the synchronization, And we can also see all the fields within that lead object that are being synced. There's our health on the top. And if we scroll down a little bit, here are all the fields that are mapped between our Postgres database and our Salesforce lead object. So maybe what you're beginning to see here is that Heroku is not just for websites. There are tons of different ways you can use Heroku. As I mentioned earlier, the Trailhead Learning Platform itself is built using Heroku, but we have customers who use Heroku for backend APIs, mobile web apps, streaming data processing. That's where Kafka, Apache Kafka, might come in handy. Marketing websites, and in industries such as healthcare, transportation, fintech, farming, retail, advertising. And again, these are just a handful of examples. So that's it for the demo. If you'd like to learn more about Heroku, highly recommend you check out these projects and modules on Trailhead.